Hi, everybody. My name is Nick Doe, and you can call me Nick or Professor Doe or whatever you'd like. But this is just a brief video to get us started in our trip through Orgoland Lab this term and give you the layout of the land. So, as you can see from the screen, we are going Sakai, big time Sakai. And you can see I have the two tabs here for the Tuesday lab and for the Friday lab. They're both identical. So whichever lab you're in, you'll see the same things. So briefly, I just want to let you know that we are starting lab this week and there will be no pre-lab discussion. You will be just coming into lab and getting started. So I thought it might be important to give you some heads up about what you should be doing before your first lab this week. So most importantly, check this link to see this short video on where our lab is and what our lab will be all about when you get there. So the one thing that these in-person labs will still have is a lot of social distancing. So let me show you a little bit of how that's going to work. When you come to our lab, you will be working in one of these hoods that are along the side of the lab room. Very little work, if any, will be done on these lab benches. Okay? So every student will have their very own hood, and within every hood, you will have all the pieces of equipment and chemicals you need, and even waste containers, to perform your very own experiment. So yes, you are doing your own experiment. No partner labs. Sort of. So let me just be clear about this. Due to social distancing, you cannot be working in one of these hoods with a partner because you'd be too close. So everybody's going to do their own experiment, but I felt that's too isolating an experience for an in-person lab. So what we will do is, as you can see from our Sakai site, you can find the lab that you're going to do here in the lab manual, but most importantly, you can find the partners that you'll be working with outside of lab and sort of in lab as well. But the lab partners are very, very important. So please make sure to take a look at this Google spreadsheet to see who your partners are for this week's lab. Because you and your partners should generate one lab report. Even though you're doing separate experiments and you're doing your own experiment all by yourself, I would love for you to generate one lab report known as an E-lab, where you and your partner can dump all your lab data and all your conclusions and all your pre-lab work goes in this one E-lab document, and this is the one E-lab document that I will be using to grade your progress throughout the entire term. So I've given you a link here to the Google Doc that I'd like you to use to generate this E-lab document, and please generate one for Lab 1 coming up this week. So before I even see you in lab, you and your partner should generate this E-lab Google Doc and share it not only with each other, but please share the Google Doc with me. Okay? Cool. So there's the crux of it. Lab manual, E-lab partners, E-lab template. If you want to check out all the rest of this is all good stuff, like lab calendar will tell you the due dates for everything from pre-lab questions, which I hope you and your new partner for lab this week, you and your partners work on these pre-lab questions together, put them in your E-lab together, and then come to lab ready to go. Remember, no pre-lab video, no pre-lab discussion. You're just going to walk in and get started. Which means, please go to the lab manual and please read, watch, digest as much of the content in the pre-lab work as possible and send me questions as much and as many as possible before you walk into lab so it is not a chaotic, crazy experience. Okay? There is the other things on here that we can talk about as well, things like the forum where you can also just post your questions there and everybody in lab can see them, and maybe you guys can answer your own questions together. The syllabus is here, which has our grading standards and my office hours. So my office hours are Monday and Thursday afternoon from 3 to 4 p.m. and they will be in our lab. So you can just come visit our lab this Monday, for example, and have full access to me, and we can talk about any questions you have about the logistics of this lab or even any lecture topics, because I have been teaching this course for over 29 years at Wellesley College. I know what's going on in lecture too. So feel free to ask me lecture or lab questions. Lastly, the grade is going to be pass-fail for lab. So the main point of this is that I want you to learn in lab some really cool new lab techniques that relate to organic chemistry. But most importantly, all the concepts that we're trying to teach you in lab really are coming from the material you're learning in lecture. So I hope our lab actually supplements the lecture material and gives you a place to figure out and answer all the questions you have about lecture material as well. All right, I'm sure you'll have tons more questions. Please feel free to email me, check out any of these resources folders, any other videos you want to see. But let's start with this link right here, the link to show you how and where and what to do on the first day of lab. And please make sure to come to lab with the answers to the pre-lab questions. Okay? See you soon. Bye.